After the first hour of running on a long run, if you're going to be running longer than 90 minutes, then you need to start taking calories in. Somewhere between 10 to 60 grams of carbohydrates per person per hour, depending on your size, your weight, and the speed of your metabolism. This video, we're going to have a look at my top 5 foods to fuel when running on your long runs. Without further ado, let's get it rolling. Okay, welcome back guys, Clash Fitness. Now as I said, we're looking at the best foods to eat whilst out on your long runs, okay? So, as many of you know, I'm currently training for Ironman, which involves doing a marathon after 112 miles bike ride and a 2.4 mile swim. So, nutrition and eating and taking on calories is even more important than just doing a normal marathon, okay? So the human body can generally have enough glycogen stores to fuel 90 minutes worth of running. After that, you're going to need to start taking on fuel on board to your body in order to keep the glycogen levels high and to keep your energy levels high and to keep smashing forward and to keep hitting your PB, your new best time. Okay, so after your glycogen levels are gone, essentially you'll start to attack your own food stores. And for those of you like Adonises like myself that have very little in terms of body fat, I'm joking by the way, I need to lose about 2 stone before Ironman. But you know, as soon as you start using your internal fat stores, you're starting to deplete your own body rather than using your glycogen, which is the preferred fuel source for your body. So you're going to feel a lot better, a lot more energetic, and the longer you can keep your glycogen levels high, then the longer you're going to be able to train for. Once you start hitting your fat reserves, once they're gone, you're done. And it's very difficult, if at all possible, to move from burning your fat stores to moving back to glycogen. So without further ado, let's look at my top 5 foods. Okay, food number 1. So we're aiming, don't forget, for between 10 to 60 grams of carbohydrates. I generally go for the 60 grams. I've always had a ridiculously fast metabolism. I'm on the larger side for a runner. I'm 6'1". I'm relatively stocky still. I carry more muscle mass than I probably should. So 60 grams of carbohydrates is personally what I need in order to keep me fueled and keep me going. And my body can handle that quite easily. So the first one is naked bars. Here we go. Get that in shot. Naked bars. And Lara bars is the equivalent in the US. So in the UK, naked bars. In the US, I'm reliably informed by one of my close friends that they're called Lara bars. Essentially, they're a blend of dates, raisins, and generally cashew nuts. And they give you a lot of energy, a lot of fuel, and a lot of carbs. So if you look at the profile there, carbohydrate per bar is 15 grams. I can't show you an individual bar because I've scoffed them all, but they're really super easy to transport. So one of the main things you need to look for when you're looking at foods for your long run is portability. These come individually wrapped. You take 2, 3, 4 of those, then you're looking at 60 carbs, 60 grams of carbs in your pocket, no problem. Very easy to consume, very tasty, so you look forward to eating these every time you come to them. And again, it'll sort of, when you eat tasty sugary foods when you're out for a long run, it stimulates your brain, stimulates your mind, and just sort of uplifts your mood as well. So if you're starting to feel a little bit miserable, eating something super tasty like a naked bar really helps. Second one, I haven't mentioned them for a while, but I'll mention them now. Baby food pouches. I've been eating this for so long, so many years, and it all came about when my mother accidentally bought me a baby food pouch. She didn't realise what it was. She was doing an online shop, and she bought me a sweet potato and something baby food pouch. Apologised, thought it was hilarious, but I was like, this is actually amazing. It's just mushed up sweet potato. And after that, my go-to one is the blueberry, banana and baby rice one. So it's all organic, So in the UK we have a brand called Ella's Kitchen. You can get various different ones, but Ella's Kitchen does a blueberry, banana and baby rice one. And that, I believe, I'll look it up right now, but I believe that has 25 grams of carbohydrate per pouch, which is ideal. And I've been saying this wrong all along. It's not 10 grams, it's 25 grams of carbohydrates to 60 grams per hour, so I apologise for that. And one pouch has 25 grams in it. So if you're only aiming for 25 grams of carbs per hour, one of those Ella's Kitchen pouches will do. And because they're super easy to take the lid off, have a bit, and put the lid back on, you can take a few sips of it, put it back in your pocket, and away you go. So let me just double check this. I'm pretty sure it's 25 grams of carbs. Yeah, 25 grams of carbs per pouch if you get the blueberry and banana one. And as I was talking about taste and uplifting your mind, I really love coconut. So if you get the banana and coconut one, I don't know how many carbs that's got, I think it's slightly less, but taste wise, just adding it in there for a bit of taste is absolutely delicious. And again, these pouches, they're 25 grams per pouch. They don't take up too much space. If you stop off at a supermarket or something on one of your long training runs, jump in, grab one, blast it back, recycle it, whatever, and then get going again. Absolutely fantastic, brilliant. Ella's Kitchen pouches, or baby food pouches in general. Check the carbohydrate content, go for a fruit-based one, and away you go. Number 3, little packs of raisins. So this little sunny raisin here, he's from California. He's all the way from California to fuel Steve Kalklash's long runs. So if I'm wearing a triathlon top, which I recommend for running in your long runs because they have little pockets, they're pretty skin tight and they have little pockets, so you can put things like raisins or whatever food you want in the little pockets, sometimes at the back, sometimes on the sides. So you can slot a couple of boxes of raisins in there. Again, I think that these are about 10 grams of carbs per box. So again, a lovely option, nice and portable. You can just open these up and throw them back. The only disadvantage with raisins is that you need to wash it down with a lot of water, and they're very high in fibre, so they can make you need to go to the toilet. So it might be worth saving those beasts towards the end of the run, if they affect you in that way. Generally they don't with me. Number 4, we're 2 more and then we get to the controversial one. Number 4, dates. Now the drawback of dates right out the start is that they have a stone in it. So you need to remove the stone before you can get going, because you don't want to be removing the stone when you're out running. And what you certainly don't want to be doing is choking on a stone when you're trying to run. That is not going to help you get a PB. That is more than likely make you end up in the hospital or getting the Heimlich manoeuvre on the sidelines. That's not really going to be what you're after if you're in your marathon race or in your long run. So let's leave the Heimlich manoeuvre at home. Deep hit the dates, stick the dates that have been deep hitted in your jersey, and away you go. And how many grams of carbs? So per 100 grams is 70 grams of carbohydrates. That's a 500 gram box, so that's probably 3 or 4 dates is going to give you a ton of carbohydrates there. Number 5 is obviously the gel. So before we move on to the super controversial one, gels are good. They serve a purpose for race day. You know, you can always rely on a gel. They're super portable. I always rely on the GU ones, the GU ones. This is the Roctane one, which essentially is like rocket fuel to me. And I use the other one, so you can get caffeine-free ones, you can get caffeinated ones, and these Roctane ones have vegan amino acids in as well. Carbohydrates per thing is 21 grams. So actually slightly less than one of the Ella's Kitchen baby food pouches. But these really do keep you going, and they've got sort of all the sodium and electrolytes, and if you get the right ones like these, they've got amino acids in and some caffeine and all the rest of it to keep you going. But if you're doing regular long runs like I am, really I just use the gels because I know I'm going to use the gel on race day, so I use the gels sparingly. They're quite expensive, they're not exactly the healthiest food for you. If you get the GU ones, they need to be washed down with a lot of water as well, so just be careful there. And the final one, I said it was going to be slightly controversial, flat Coca-Cola or Pepsi-Cola or some sort of cola. I know it's not a health food, it's by far the unhealthiest thing there, but for a cheap source of energy, so if you're out and about and you find yourself without anything, you don't have a great deal of money, get yourself a bottle of Coke and a bottle of water, shake the Coca-Cola up, get all the bubbles out, either just, you know, drink a little bit of it, mix the rest with water, make sure you got no carbonation in there, and away you go. They dish it out on most Ironman races, flat Coca-Cola. Why? Because it's super high in sugar, super high in carbs, super high in energy, it's got caffeine in it, and I don't know if this is an old wives' tale, but what I've heard is that it has an agent in it to prevent you from feeling sick and being sick, because the amount of sugar in it can quite often actually make you feel sick and make you want to be sick. I don't know if that's an old wives' tale, that's unconfirmed, but that is what I've heard. But essentially Coca-Cola is really, again, you don't want to be drinking it all the time, but as a last resort or something just to keep you going, if it's the thing that's going to get you that extra hour on your long run for training, or if it's going to get you through the Ironman marathon or your marathon or get you that PB, then have some flat Coke. Don't do it all the time, but it is one of the best fuels for when you're out and about on your long run. Now then, I'm conscious, I've talked for enough. I would love to hear your input on what your favourite foods are for eating when you're out and about running, because I would love to hear it, because I would love to try it myself. But these are my go-to foods. This is what fuels my long run. Please check out my long run do's and don'ts video. Please check out my running tips playlist that I've got here, and please click here to subscribe if you haven't already. Guys, I've spoken for long enough now. You know what to do. Get your running shoes on, get out there and get running. But for now, keep it rolling.